You must be Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. I'm Henry Carruthers, the stage manager. Inspector Lestrade told me you might want to look about the place. Well, feel free. I'm afraid we can't be of much help. Poor Sarah.
Is that the girl who witnessed the incident?
Yes. Her name is Sheila Parker, and she was in a dreadful state earlier. Fainted dead away. As you can see, she's still very upset. I doubt she'll be able to answer any questions just yet.
That's a very interesting accent. I'm guessing that we don't have any tweezers or anything to collect this at the moment. No. Whoops. I'm so much more used to using a mouse for these type of games. I'm definitely not used to using a gamepad or keyboard. I'm guessing that we need to take one of these flowers. Whoops. And I don't think that this is from the same person who wrote on that playbill. Well, Holmes hasn't mentioned anything matching up, and this seems to be the missing perfume bottle.
Miss Parker, I'm sorry to trouble you. Do you think you could bring yourself to describe what you saw?
I saw Sarah lying there. Oh, it's so horrible. I can't bear to think about it.
She seems near hysterical, Holmes, and rightly so. I doubt she'll be of much help in her current condition.
She's so hysterical, she started to speak in an American accent.
This woman's distress appears to be genuine, Watson. As a professional observer, would you say her behavior is that of a person who has suffered a terrible shock?
Well, she's certainly within what I would call the credible emotional range of such a person. I believe her response to be authentic, though the woman is an actress. And you yourself, Holmes, have fooled me countless times with your own sham performances.
What does this room tell you of the victim?
The portraits of actors from the past suggest that she was comfortable and happy in her profession. Judging by the flowers and perfume, I'd say that she was more liked than despised.
Watson, have you espied any new detail? Has a blinding revelation struck your brain?
I regret to admit, Holmes, that I am more confused now than when we arrived.
Watson, do you have anything that might calm Miss Parker? We might as well have the benefit of her testimony, meagre though Lestrade claims it to be.
Yes, Holmes, I'm carrying a potent sedative. A small dose should do the trick. Try giving her this.
Thank you, sir. I feel better. But much like I'm swimming underwater. I think I can answer your questions now, if my tongue will obey my brain.
Are drugs really good for someone who's in shock? Anyway, she's talking now.
Miss Parker, do you now think you might tell us what you saw of this terrible murder?
I saw Sarah lying there dead. Blood was everywhere, but especially by her head. I could see her insides. A man in a cloak was running off into the street, but I didn't get no good look at him. I didn't see no more than that, sir. Honest, I just ran in here and fainted, I guess. Next thing I know, Mr. Carruthers is waving his coat in my face.
Do you know any of her friends or relatives?
No, sir, not personally. I didn't even know Sarah very well. But about a week ago, Sarah got this pendant. Big, ugly thing it was, too. She said it was from her sister. I believe her name was like Anna or Hannah, but I don't know where she lives.
Do you know this secret admirer, the person who gave her these flowers?
No, and neither did Sarah. She never was one to appreciate gifts from strangers, but she so liked these that she decided to keep them. Just tonight she told me I could throw them out if I had a mind to. Now the inspector has told me not to touch anything until he completes his investigation. How am I supposed to get dressed?
This perfume was a gift, wasn't it? Do you know who gave it to her?
She said it was from a special friend, but I know nothing about him. He called for her here from time to time, but she was very secretive, always making sure everybody was away before she brought him up. As far as I know, he's the only man to see the inside of this room, other than Mr. Carruthers. I have no idea why she didn't want to show him off.
Do you know anyone who could be responsible for this brutal attack?
I didn't know anybody on Earth could do such a thing as what was done to her. Now I know. There's monsters in the world for certain. But I can't believe they are friends of mine, or Sarah's for that matter.
What was your relationship to Miss Carraway?
I was her understudy. We were performing the play The Loves of Hattie Hill, and Sarah was the lead. I played Beth, the servant girl, but I understudied the lead in case... Oh, I can't bear to think about it!
Can you direct me to anyone who might help me learn more about Miss Carraway?
No, sir. I'm sorry. Like I said, I didn't know her very well. She was very protective of her personal life.
What is the problem with that door, Mr. Carruthers? Which is to say, what are you doing?
Well, the plate is broken. I'm attempting to repair it. I'm afraid it's quite beyond me. I'll probably have to hire a locksmith to do the work.
Is that really a valid option?
What happened to this door?
It's been forced, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade thinks it was the Ripper. He says the Ripper broke in here and dragged Sarah out into the alley to murder her. Do you think that's what happened, Mr. Holmes?
No, I don't think that's what's happened. Well, we kind of know what happens from the intro.
The inspector has many fine qualities, but he is overly fond of theatrics. It is clear that the murderer did not attack Miss Carraway here in this room.
What is your evidence for that, Mr. Holmes?
Well, there's nothing on the flowers that suggest it happened here. I mean, the message to meet outside was actually on the playbill. And I can't see why the wardrobe has anything to do with this. I mean, it must be the hat.
The location of the woman's hat.
Exactly what I thought, Mr. Holmes. She wouldn't have had her hat unless she was going out the back door. That means the Ripper must have broken in during the performance and then went back outside to wait for her. I can't see that anything's missing, though.
Do you know of anyone who might have harbored a grudge towards Miss Carraway? A rival or jilted lover? Or perhaps an obsessive admirer?
Certainly not. I can't imagine why anyone would want to harm her. She wasn't the greatest actress, but she was popular in a way and sweet. Well, now you mention it, there was a young fellow who was asking about her a short time back, and he seemed rather suspicious.
What was suspicious about him?
I found him hanging about in the alley. He asked if Sarah worked there. I offered to take a message, but he refused to leave his name or his reason for calling. Well, he was just a lad, no more than 17, bright-eyed, and very single-minded. He didn't want to see Sarah so much as he wanted her address.
Did you give it to him?
What you take me for, sir? I don't go handing me girls over to any dimwit who just happens by, thank you very much. My refusal didn't seem to bother him at all, though. He just smiled and thanked me for my time, pretty as you please. Then he said, if I changed my mind, he'd make it worth my while, and that I could leave a message for him at the Moongate, whatever that means.
I'm guessing that the Moongate is either a hotel or an inn, or possibly a pub.
Have you recalled any details that might assist my investigation?
I think I told you everything I know.
Okay, let's give this guy back his spring.
I believe this spring may be helpful in repairing the lock.
Ah, yes. Thank you. I believe that's just the piece I need. I'll have this finished in just a moment if my fingers don't fail me.
Okay, we're done here. Okay, that's interesting to know why the door has been broken, but we won't find out that possibly until later. So before we leave this location, I did forget to check out... Where are you? There we go. We can't continue on without this. I thought my inventory looked slightly empty. Now the 3DO version is slightly annoying when it comes to exiting areas. Yes, we know it's an exit. Okay, that works. Before we head to Sarah's flat, let's go back to Baker Street. Now we can use this lab table. Okay, we have to use the inventory on the lab table first. So let's check out the flour. We've already used the flour on the lab table, but now we have to use it on specific items. Okay, that's good to know. Can we do anything more with this? Nope. And let's try the flower on the flask. Okay. Yes, this definitely feels more clumsy using a keyboard over a mouse. Okay, so now we know how they are coloured, I guess, or discoloured. And we can actually examine these chemicals individually, but thankfully, this game automatically does it for us. Well, adds them to what we need to examine automatically. But yes, we are done with the flower. Please, can we exit? There we go. And now it's time to check out this powdery specimen. Definitely don't need to crush it up. Okay. Yeah, thankfully this part of the game generally relies on just using the object on the object rather than having to select these chemicals automatically. I mean, manually. So now we know what it is. And we also need to track down who actually sold these flowers. Thankfully, the person we need to speak to is just outside.
I require your assistance, Wiggins.
At your service, Mr. Holmes. Do you have a job for the irregulars?
Yes, Wiggins. I've a certain flower I'd like you to trace for me.
Very good, sir. Let's have a look at it then.
Maybe give might be the better option.
A flower, Gov? Oh, very kind, I'm sure.
Don't be impertinent, Wiggins. You know it's not a gift. Now, remark those dark red lines running through the petals. They were caused by the application of an iodine solution. Find the vendor that sells flowers coloured in this manner. You might want to begin your search around the Regency Theatre on Oxford Street.
The Regency it is, Mr. Holmes. If you're right, it shouldn't take us long to find the seller. I'll come back here as soon as I have any news.
Now Wiggins won't return until we leave the area, but we do need to check out Sarah's flat. There isn't a whole lot that we can do here. Well, there is a fair amount that we can do here, but nothing much that is too important. Oh, so this is the same oil and black hairs, possibly, that we found on the door frame. But this is Sarah's flat, so I'm guessing she probably lived here with someone.
A key! Amazing, Holmes! Only you could draw good luck from an action that's supposed to yield its opposite. Thank heaven you're not superstitious.
We can't use this key in the apartment, but obviously we need to take it with us. Before we leave, there's a couple of things that we can do. Again, these aren't exactly important, but they are a thing. Done. I don't think that I've ever tried Darjeeling. Okay, we are done here for now. Let's go and find Wiggins.
Have you located the source of the flowers, Wiggins?
Yes, sir. It's a girl. Name her Leslie. She sells flowers just like the one you give me. She has a nice cart set up in Covent Garden just outside a pub.
Well done, my boy. Here's your payment and a bonus for the lad who tracked her down.
So this map is fairly large. Wow, it's bigger than what I actually thought it was going to be. There are still several more locations we can go to. But for now, we're going to go straight to the flower cellar.